The story is based on Mars. Risa and her daughter Remy look at the starry sky, exploring constellations and other planets that are visible to the naked eye. The girl spends a lot of time alone or with the animals of the abandoned farm where she lives with her family since no other children are around. Remy is often around her mother but has a stronger bond with her father. One evening after her father arrived, the girl immediately knew something was wrong. After overhearing her parents' conversation, where her father promises to keep them safe, she realizes that strangers have reappeared. Although her father guarantees Remy's safety, she is still scared. The girl has an unusual but warm relationship with her father. They joke and laugh together even when times are tough. Remy can't sleep, and after she wakes up her parents, they all listen to her mother's songs together. The girl is very curious and asks a lot of questions about the world around her since they live on Mars. Her parents talk about Earth, which is no longer what it used to be. Risa and Lisa flew away from there in search of a better place. In the morning, the whole family wakes up to strange noises from outside. The girl runs into the kitchen, where the blood-red sign on the window says, "Leave." The little girl and her parents start panicking. Risa is already running with his gun, ready to defend them. The little girl has many questions, but the parents are too scared and confused to answer. The father stands at the window with his gun the whole time, and suddenly the strangers scream again. The man gets hysterical and screams straight into the middle of nowhere. Remy isn't allowed to leave the house, and her parents' silence only increases the girl's questions. However, Remy leaves the house searching for the pig she thinks is outside. The parents don't notice Remy's disappearance, nor are they concerned about the situation. Lisa calls for the girl, but the stranger appears, running after her as she runs home. Lisa manages to kill one, but another is about to lash out at the little girl. The mother lunges at the attacker and stabs him hysterically. More and more individuals are running toward the house with guns. Reza tries to defend them and leaves the house. The females realize that he is not coming back. Lisa is hysterical, unable to calm down, but struggles to assure Remy that the situation is under control. Still, once again, odd noises are heard. The mother and her child are afraid to leave the house because they think the strangers are still there. They hide in her room and the lights go out. They remain without light throughout the night. By morning, everything seems to be calm again, and the woman decides to leave the vault, but it still seems dangerous to move around. After hearing some noise, Lisa looks out the window, but it is their piggyback. At this time, Remy calls for her mother because an unknown man with a wounded leg is aiming a gun at them. The unknown man says that the house belongs to his parents. He believes that Risa and Lisa killed his parents. The stranger remains in the house since he has been looking for it for too long. However, he promises to leave them alone and not hurt them. They should not leave because outside, the situation is even worse, but Remy begs his mother to run away. He leaves the girl alone in the yard and returns to the house. The woman wants to quickly kill the stranger with a kitchen knife. But of course, he was expecting such a move. The woman succeeds only in wounding the stranger, but he is very persuasive and gives her an ultimatum. If she calms down and doesn't try to kill him for 30 days, he will give her a chance to end her life if she desires. But the only thing Lisa wants is to kill the man. The stranger allows her to say goodbye to her husband. The young daughter gets convinced that they must leave. Lisa returns to her daily routine, trying to continue her ordinary life with the stranger. Obviously, the man has his own secrets. Remy peeks as he hides in a secret alcove with a gun and some photos. In the man's briefcase, he finds a mask and a notebook with notes and drawings of the woman Lisa killed the day before. The man has restored all possible comforts but is still not very habitable. Lisa tries to fix it up herself. The woman finds an iron box in a room that looks like a barn. After laying it on the floor, this so-called box disappears. It is a mini robot directed at Remy. The woman fears that the object will harm the child, but the man assures her that the robot is harmless. The robot seems to be more afraid of Remy than of her. The little girl gives him a new name, Steve, and goes to play with him after dinner because she has always been alone and now has a friend here. The man tries to be friendly and fit into the family. In the evening on the street, he also tries to get to know Lisa better. The man says her name, Jerry, and asks about her parents. However, the woman flatly refuses any contact with him. The man had no intention of returning to his parents' home, but since other towns and settlements have disappeared, he is left with no other choice. Lisa admits that she didn't kill the man's mother. She was already dead when they arrived, and their father took them in. Their ship got stuck on the way back, and the towns the man speaks of were gone when the family arrived. The woman recounts that one day the stranger's father wanted to kick the family out. This happened when Lisa was 7 months pregnant. The decision was made as a result of the intuition that the family welcomed by the man was from Earth. Therefore, Lisa slit the throat of Jerry's father. The woman fears for her child and threatens the man if he dares to touch Remy. In the morning, the child goes to the toy pig and Jerry approaches her. He is forbidden to talk to the little girl, but one important thing disappears from his diary. Jerry knows that Remy took the drawing of his friend, and he assures her that she can keep it. As Lisa fumbles in the garden, Jerry begins to seduce her, and the woman doesn't back down. The robot notices the little girl, who has decided to run away because of her resentment toward her mother, who is trying to find her at that moment. She casts off work and goes on her way. She has many questions, and perhaps the vast land of Mars will provide her with answers. Later, Remy climbs a mountain and realizes that the glass is the dome she has been living in all this time. She does not know where it came from and is overcome with fear. Desperate, the little girl doesn't know what to do, but she notices a large entrance somewhere. As she approaches, a large door opens in front of Remy, revealing the darkness inside. At first, she does not want to enter, but after hearing her mother's voice, the little girl enters. As Remy begins to walk down the hallway, the door closes again, but fortunately, she has a flashlight. Suddenly, a bright light and frightening sounds approach in front of her. The girl falls to the floor and faints. Remy already wakes up at home. The man has taken her into the house. She is really shocked to find herself living in a dome. Remy wonders where Jerry came from, but as usual, he gets no answer. The man tells her that she should be grateful for where she lives because there is nothing better outside the dome. Remy still resents her mother. She doesn't eat dinner or listens to anyone. The woman stops marking the days before she can kill Jerry, but the girl decides to continue drawing on the window. She notices that Jerry is burning old things. The woman wants to support her daughter and tries to explain what happened between her and Jerry in the garden. In the morning, the girl enters her mother's room in a better mood. However, their reconciliation is interrupted by the sound of the guitar Jerry is playing. He asks Lisa to play it and sing the same song they sang as a family before her father's death. Remy gets emotional and leaves the house and hides in the barn. Her mother pursues her, but the girl doesn't want to see anyone. Upon returning to the house, Lisa doesn't show up and remains submissive to the man, trying to hold back tears. The woman explains her daughter's behavior, but Jerry doesn't believe this nonsensical explanation. He already has a gun in his hand. But of course, it is not to kill the woman. He leaves the gun on the table and goes to the porch, as was their condition from the beginning. At this point, Remy decides to go back, but when she approaches, she sees the man standing outside with her mother pointing the gun at him. Jerry remembers that the girl is watching the whole situation, but Lisa is already pulling the trigger. The gun is not loaded, so she cannot kill the man. The woman notices the knife and chases after him while Jerry follows her. Only shouts and noises are heard outside, and the wounded man exits the house as soon as silence falls. The girl runs and screams, but Jerry tries to calm her down and promises not to hurt her. Remy is afraid of the man, and she is devastated by her mother's death, but Jerry gives her a chance to say goodbye to Lisa. She has no other choice, and the girl stays. For years, she keeps living with Jerry and turns into a teenager. The man is friendly with Remy and treats her well. One day, he comes to the garden and offers to teach her how to use a gun. With ease, she kills a pig for dinner. The girl is not as friendly to the man, even though she has to live with him. In the evening, Jerry gives Remy a taste of alcohol. The two spend all their time together. Upon returning home, the man gives him a drawing of the girl, Lisa. He drew her looking at Remy, who looks very much like his late mother. The mother's drawing moves the girl, who begins to cry. Jerry tries to comfort her and kisses her. This disturbs her, and she flees to her room. She sees him, and great fear fills the girl's eyes, but the man has come only to leave the drawing. Remy tries to avoid Jerry since she is clearly angry with him. They no longer speak and don't even eat together. One day, Jerry starts talking about Remy's feelings and experiences. The girl makes it clear that she cannot sleep with him, but he keeps insisting. On the other hand, Remy threatens to kill the child if he gets her pregnant. As soon as the girl opens the door to her room, she immediately sees him holding a stolen mask from his briefcase. Jerry is angry and suspects that the girl is going somewhere. He takes the mask and leaves. Remy runs after him because in the man's hands is her last chance to escape. A loud argument breaks out between the two. In anger, Jerry throws the girl to the ground, and she loses consciousness, immediately realizes that he messed up and tries to make things right. The girl wakes up in her room. Jerry apologizes. He worries and cares for the girl out of special love. The man convinces the girl to agree to give herself to him, and Remy begins to scream. As soon as Jerry puts the gun to the girl's temple, she immediately shuts up, but she does not stop crying. She has no choice. The man is about to do his duty. At this point, Steve shows up and wounds him, and Jerry shoots in retaliation. The girl finally manages to free herself and runs for the gun. The man tries to quickly process the wound and sees the reflection of the girl holding the gun behind him. Jerry tries to convince the girl not to kill him, but as soon as he turns around, the girl shoots. Remy buries him next to his parents' graves. The only thing the girl wants is to cure Steve. She is now completely alone and sometimes has hallucinations. Sometimes she lies down to sleep on the graves of her parents and Jerry. She finally manages to heal Steve, but realizes that she can no longer go on like this. The girl decides to return to the tunnel where she was as a child. She says goodbye to Steve and leaves. In the tunnel, once again, Remy sees a light that indicates the exit. She crosses to the other side and is excited and nervous about seeing the great beyond. To her surprise, she sees only miles and miles of wasteland, completely booked for exploration.